Hello everyone, welcome to my studio. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to make some distress baggage service tags. These are like an example of old tags that I got off the internet that are from train stations, airports, hotels, things of that nature. And if you can see that each one of them is unique and different to itself. Some of them have the same elements. This one is square, this one is square. This one has stamping on it and this one does not. Some of them have strings and ropes, and other ones are unique. This one has none, it just has a slit in it. So you can see there's a variety. What I'm going to do is just combine a few of them together to create some unique vintagey looking tags. Here's some examples that I've already worked on. As you can see, this one is the square type with the numbers. But it's also like in this collar with the black text. It's also got rounded edges versus the angled edges. So some of them are like that. Some of them are just completely square, rolled over itself. Also, I added this extra tag here to flip over, because if you notice, a lot of these vintagey tags had extra pieces added onto them. And I like that look. So there's this one that I've made, and then there's this one. It's a little brighter papa collar on this one. This one has more of a rope string, and this one is more of a fabric. I'm going to sew across here. I wanted it to look like it was torn or ripped from the handle of something, like whatever this was originally strapped to. I wanted it to look ripped and torn. So yeah, that's what we're going to be making today, is these vintagey tags. Okay, so here is a list of steps. You don't have to follow them in order, but sometimes, like from 4 on, you can really just mix and match what you're doing and how you're doing it and when you're doing it. So the first one was to gather the cardstock in various colors, and then 2 was to cut them into multiple sizes. So I've cut them. You can see there's the variety of colors that we have here. I did this red one. That was this color. So you can see how it starts out and what it ended up looking like. And then this is matte photo paper. I wanted to see how it would look coming up grunge. This is just some cardstock. Cardstock works very well because of the thickness of the tags, so they will withstand more of the ink spray stains. When you go to use them, or the distressing, your paper will withstand that. But you could also use watercolor paper. That would also work, or anything thick. I wouldn't try it with just plain copy paper. I think that it would end up being more torn than you would want it to be. This leaves like the fibers in it, and that's what I was looking for, was the fibers. Okay, so believe it or not, this tag was once this color. So this was the original, and this is what it looks like after it's been grunged up. So we have this manila color. We have this is just brown. This is green file folder. It came from a file folder, so the back is a different color than the front. I just got a hint of green, more matte photo paper, and brown cardstock. And then this is almost like it's more fibrous than this. So yeah, so it's thicker. All right, so the first thing to do was to gather your cardstock. Then you cut them into the sizes that you wanted, and then you need to round, cut, or leave the corners plain. Number 3 here. I used these to round my corners. I think I used a number 7 most of the time to get this size. On this one, I used this one, and I used the medium. Wait a minute, let me see. Nope, I used the larger one. This is the large size right here. I use that on that, and then some I just left completely plain. Like I said on the example, sometimes they are cut, sometimes they are just squared off. There wasn't too many examples of them being rounded. Like this one is a big round, but most of the time they weren't very rounded. But I still like the round look. Okay, so after you've cut those, it's time for the hole reinforcers from leftover scraps. That's after you've cut these. It will leave you with a pile of scraps from the edges and I just grabbed some. And these were the leftovers from cutting those out. And I'm going to use those to go over top of the edges up at the top. So some might be, that's how I got the square look, was to use one of these. These ones would be, these smaller ones, let me bring back my thing, would be good for like the hole reinforcers. So you would need to cut those out with circles, a circle punch. Okay, so this is the small circle punch. It's the smallest one I have. And this is just a small hole punch. You could go slightly bigger if you want to. You could use this size. I'm preferring the small size because of what I want to do. Actually, I could make both. I could try making both sizes. Okay, so what I want to do first is just cut the hole in the center with the small one. Didn't cut very well. Pull that out. There we go. Okay, and then go around it with the circle punch so that I line it up in the middle. You see? Lined up in the middle. Hopefully. That's not quite in the middle, but close enough. We'll get that. Alright, and so do it again. That's going to be better. Now you see this one's better. So line it up, try to get that even in the middle. There we go. That one's much better. So there's your reinforcers that you can put on your tag. One on the front, one on the back. Like that, to make these. Like I said, you can use the bigger punch. Let's see if we can make a bigger one. I'm gonna put those aside. I don't want to use that. Here we go. I'll try one of these. Get it in the middle. That should be. I just put 2 holes in it. I'm gonna line it up in the middle. Can do a better job, I think. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, I have trouble with not being perfect, but that's okay. I'm letting all that go. We're not going to be perfect. Oh, that one's way not perfect. That's okay. Whenever they're lined up, they're not too bad. See, actually, they are perfect to each other. So somehow I made it do that. But yeah, so this is a small hole, and this is a larger hole. Okay, so I made those. Now I will grunge those up as well. I'm not going to leave them just plain white that way, or plain colored that way. Okay, so now you can add eyelets to these. such as these. I got a couple jars here. Such as these, or these, and they go in the larger. The ones I have go in the larger ones, like this. So we could add eyelets to these, or we could, or you could add these. Sorry, put that back. I'm going to spill these if I don't put them back right now. Okay, so you can add these brads. These ones are kind of long, but I do have some that are not quite so long. So you can add the brads to the tops of them. Other ideas might be just to put, I do have small tiny brads, but these would go with the small holes. So here's what that would look like. And also, I got these clips you could add to the top of your tag. You could add a paper clip instead. To the top of your tag. And put your string through the paper clip. So there's various things that you can add to the top. You don't have to use the reinforcers, and you don't have to use the eyelets. I was just giving you some suggestions and things you can add. And I might do that. I might add different things by the end and show you some different looks that you can have. Okay, so the next thing is, now I did not, up here, I did not glue my whole reinforcers in place because I learned whenever I did my other tag, let me see, this one. I learned whenever I was doing this that gluing it in place before the stamping made it difficult to stamp on this. If you're not stamping on your reinforcers, then at least grunge them up or first, or add some sprays or whatever first before you glue it down. Once you've glued it down, it becomes very difficult to actually get to the edges of these. So I did learn that by doing these, to grunge those up first before you glue into place. Okay, so then I added the eyelets. Okay, gather the stamps and stencils and waterproof ink. So this is where we're going to get started. So I don't know, like I said, I really want to try this photo paper. So I think we'll start there because I really want to start on this one first. I'm going to go ahead and show you that again so you can see that we're gathering the stamp stencils and waterproof inks. I'm going to be using the Distress Oxide sprays and the spray stains, the inks, the Distress spray stains and the Distress Oxide spray. And I will tell you the colors, but it doesn't really matter what color you choose. Any of the colors will be fine. Just kind of go with your project, whatever color looks good in your project. The stamps I'm going to be using are kind of like a business stamp. They have receipts on them. Yeah, I got it right. With dates. This is the one I used on this tag. So you can see it. If I pull this back, you can see it stamped there. I turned it sideways because on a couple of these tags here, let's see here, like this one, the font was turned sideways. It was stamped sideways. So and this one also was stamped sideways. But I think on this one, I'm going to go plain. I think I'm going to just go in traditional up and down stamping. I was thinking about trying to emulate that one, but I don't think it's the stamps I pulled out. So anyways, I got the business stamps, some check writing right here, receipts. I also got these ones for the postmarks. I thought those would kind of add more authenticity to it, especially this one that has the waves in it. I noticed a lot of these have like some kind of logo emblem on them. And let's see. Okay, here's some more stamps that I have that are also like train station passenger list, maybe a boat list. I also brought some numbers. I brought these ones out because sometimes there's large numbers. Or like at the JFK, I thought instead of JFK, it could actually be in numbers like this 627. And then I just brought some random for the lines here to help make some lines on the, like here, if I wanted a line and then from and to. Yeah, so I brought some stamps out. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. I'm just going to go back to this one, but I think I may incorporate some of the numbers into this one. So I'm going to start. I forgot to tell you that whenever you're doing the background, you don't want that to run. You don't want it to, with these, they would run. So you need more permanent archival ink. For this, I'm going to use a dark color, so I'm just going to use black. Okay, so I'm just going to use black and the red for the numbers. So we're going to start with the black first. I also want this print to be more clear than a grunge normally would be. Trying to make sure I got it on the right side. I do. So I want to make sure I got plenty of ink on this one so I can get a good clean print. Let's see, it's kind of off to the side a little bit so that I have place to add the emblem, but not all the way down to the bottom. There we go. Oh, I'm overthinking, aren't I? Okay, no overthinking. Yeah, that's good. Nice clean print. I'm gonna put that off to the side so I can clean it. All right, now the numbers. I do need an emblem and some numbers. So let me grab this one for the numbers. I actually could do the 19 on this piece. And the number 5. I do the 5. Okay, so for the emblem, I'm thinking I'll just use this made in the factory. Let's see. That's a little bit too big. I didn't leave enough space. So maybe I'll just use this one down here. That's yeah. Use that one. It's this one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Don't know what happened to 6, but 7 on the wheel. Okay. And I'm just going to use it like they did in black. Turn it so that the numbers are this way. There we go. All right. Okay, so I've gathered up some things that I want to do. We're going to put this baggage check right here. In black. Just want the baggage check. There we go. I'm just going to add it. Maybe I should do off the side for. Okay. And then I'm going to add. Clean that off real quick. And then I'm going to add in. Okay, I'm working on this text here on here. So I would like to put this font that you can barely read. Let's see, I think I'm just gonna do it without the plate. I'm just gonna try and get like the name right here. Got a little bit of top. And wipe that off. I'm just gonna wipe it off. There we go. I think that'll be good. Alright, and then I'm just gonna put it right there. Like that. And that. This one. I am going to use a plate on this one just to get it more straight. Should I do both? Yeah, I think I'll do both in red. I mean, black. Sorry. Yeah, that looks like it was signed off. And then I'm going to add the C in red. Right. Okay, you can see a little bit. I'm just going to grab that C. There we go. And to see, they had it right, like where, if I was putting a eyelet right there, it would be down and closer to this. So yeah, I'm just going to put it right here in the corner. Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. That'll be good. Stop thinking. Stop thinking. Let it go. Let it go. Right, and then I think I'm going to add a little more of this writing. Just right here so it looks more cohesive. Okay. Oh, I put that in red, didn't I? I'm like, why can't I see that? Because it's red. I was looking for black. Yeah. Yep. A little more. Yeah. That'll do it. I'm trying to line it up a little bit. There. So it looks like it got a little smudgy. Smudgy. I don't think smudgy is a word, but we're going to use it today. Smudgy. Okay, so that looks pretty good. This is just the base. It is going to end up with lots of different colors. The only other thing I would think about maybe adding a line here. But we're going to leave it there for right now. Okay, I'm going to move everything off to the side and move that reference sheet. So I did the stamps, the various text and lines onto the tags. That's what I just did. Now I'm going to distress and tear the edges. Now to do this, I find that you can use various tools like this Tim Holtz one. It does the edges very nicely. You can take a ruler, scissors to the edges. What I found easiest though, well, let's see. We'll try this a little bit first. See, this gives you this look, which is kind of gougy, and you get all these fibers. I like that. I like that look. But to get the really deeper collar, because this only goes so far into the paper, the fibers. So what I want to do is tear them. But to do that, the easiest, I may use that tool later, is I'm going to just wet the whole thing and get it really wet. There we go. See how this is why I was saying you can't use distress on that first part. Now I'm going to just move the paper around and, oh, yep, I crumbled it. Crumbled the whole thing. It's okay. When you open it, it looks like it's been through the washing machine, right? And see all these little lines and stuff? This is where this ink, this spray stain, is going to just seep right into there and make it seem like it's more vintagey. And actually, maybe it did go through the washing machine. I don't know. But be careful of the top part. We still want to keep this part intact for whenever we attach it, the string, or the tab or whatever the eyelet, whatever you're doing up here. So just be conscious of which direction that you want to be your top or where you're planning on putting the string, because you want to make sure that that remains not as ripped up. I mean, in fact, right, what I did was plenty. I don't think I want to do any more there. But down here at the bottom, maybe some tail. Oh, look, it's there. Okay, just some, maybe one right here in the middle. Ah, right there. There we go. Now, I wouldn't do too much more. I'm just going to remove that piece completely. Because we are going to come back and do the edges with probably with this tool after this dries. So what I would do now is, normally I would just set this aside and work on another one, but I think we're going to try and dry it, and then that way I don't have to wait too awful long before I can apply more stain and stuff. So let's see if I can dry it. Okay, I'm not going to dry too much. I am going to end up getting it wet again with the stains, but I think that'll work. Okay, oh look, fingernail also works. Just scratch down the edges and you get them fibers coming up and getting a little more texture. Vary it up a little bit. Don't let the piece come off. It's okay. We like it. We like it like that. There we go. Yeah, that's plenty for me for right now. I might do more later. Okay, now we're just going to, this is the way I do it. I know everybody has their thing. You can use a splatter brush. You can use something like this. You could also use the, there we go. You can use one. There we go. So use one of those. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just put some water down. I'm going to start with the neutrals and then build up color from there. So I'm going to start with the old paper. I'm just going to throw some down on top of that water. I'm going to take my brayer and just roll it across. This reminds me of adding mold whenever I use old paper. Okay, so we're just going to brayer different spots. Sometimes I let it dry more than others depending on my paper. This is the first time, like I said, I'm using the matte photo paper, and the ink isn't spreading like it would with a watercolor. It's actually just soaking into my paper. So I'm not sure what that's going to be like for blending. This one has a lot of blends that overshadowed each other. You can see it kind of in the back. See, you can see where I've added the greens, and it did soak through the paper as well, but it did blend on the paper. This I'm not sure is going to actually blend. So let's add a little more. Let's get this thing really wet. That might help aid the process. Okay, let's add some gray now. A little bit of pumice stone, I think. I think this time I'm just going to try adding the paper, yeah, right into it. Just dip, 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 dip. Add some on the back too, because it does seep through. Now you can see those cracks. See the cracks that whenever I crumpled it? That's pretty. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to dry this. Before I add the next color, because I really want the gray to stay. maybe blend a little. I think whenever it dries completely, I'm going to get a different look. All right, now that's pretty nice looking, but let's add, I think, a little bit of peeled paint. I don't think I want a whole lot. Should I do the oxide or the stain? The stain kind of seeps in, and the spray stains out like this gray. That's the difference, another difference between the old paper blending and this. I think I want to blend, so I'm going to go with the old paint. I may use both. Okay. I'm just going to squish. Oops, I forgot to wet it. Okay, if that happens, just use water. Water is your friend with this. That'll be quite bright right there, so I'm just not going to go too much on this one. Ooh. There we go. It's a little more than I had anticipated because of where I had forgotten to add the water. But as you know, we'll get a totally different color once it dries. Okay, now I'm just going to mist some of this spray stain right on top. Oops, that wasn't a little bit. That was a lot. Oh, that's going to be pretty. Okay. Now this one's going to look a little more moldy. All right, time to dry, and we'll see what colors are coming out. I'm going to lay it down because it is fragile when it's wet. Oh, that's looking like mold. Okay, so this is dry. Here, can you hear it? It's all crinkly now. And I love this. I love how it looks all mossy. And it does kind of look like it's gone through a washing machine or two. So, yeah. Okay, well, I like this. So I'm going to stick with this color. If you don't like it, just keep adding color. It eventually it might get to a place where you like it, or you could just throw it in the trash if you don't like it when it's done. I do like the C over here. It's kind of standing out to me. So I think whenever I add the next tag, or whenever I do the hole reinforcer, I think I might do that in red. No, I'm going to do the next tag in red. Yeah, I'm going to find me a red tag to put over it. Like if I was to create this into a tag to fold over right there, I think that would match that perfectly. I'm going to find one of those to fold over. Otherwise, this is just about done. I'm going to add some of my ink. I'm going to ink up the edges real quick. I'm just going to add some black soot. Give it a little more definition. See, whenever you add the crumples, it's really difficult to get these natural lines if you didn't crumple your paper up while it's wet. Don't crumple the paper while it's dry. Make sure the paper's wet. And then whenever it dries, some of those will kind of smooth back out a little bit. So if you want to keep them, you might want to add more versus less, because they do end up kind of, I'm going to do the back too. That's another thing about these. You can write on the back if you want. Okay, and now it's taking me a minute to ink. Okay, I like that. That's pretty good. Let me grab this. There we go. Both sides need it. There. All right, I think that enhances it. All right, so now we've added that. And then the last thing would be to add the string and the ribbon, but I haven't added my hole reinforcer yet. So I'd like to, on this one, I think I'm just going to use this. I'm not even going to add the reinforcer. Let's see. I do have red. What do you guys think? Red? It's awful shiny. I would have to really dull that down. Wouldn't I? Yes, I would. Okay, I have this one. I think we'll use that one. And then, like I said, the tag I create for this is going to be red over top of it. So let me go ahead and add this, pop this in real quick. I'm just going to get my crocodile, and then it won't take but a second to do. 3/16 is the size that I have. I've been looking for the 1/8, but haven't found them yet. Okay, it needs to be, I know, measuring. I'm measuring. I should not be measuring because the whole point is just to be creative with it. Yeah, I look good. I know. Might be off center, might not be. I'm trying not to be a perfectionist. Really hard for me. Yep, not done. I'm gonna do that one more time though, because the tag is kind of thick. There we go. Wait, I got this in the wrong setting. Sorry guys, I think I might have had that on the wrong setting. There, that's a little bit better. Still loose though. Still loose. Okay, now some people I've been seeing do the hammer trick to distress this. I have this hammer. This works really well to distress the edges of the paper as well. I didn't do that this time, but you can easily do that with this distress. Just pull out a whole bunch of tools if you want, and just see what they do to your paper. Just bang into your paper. It is easier when it's wet to be more malleable. Then whenever this hits, it actually use like the ring on it. But what I was going to say was, let's see, I can. Sorry, it's so loud. My metal does, and yeah, so it does flatten it. So yeah, you could use this. I have this, which is a setter, so I could put that right on top and bang into it. Yeah, that gives a much better, sharper, more wobbly look to my piece. So I may do that. Then I'm gonna put this away too. Nice having a drawer right here. Okay, so then you just need some string, some rope, something like that. I have a jar full of leftover strings. This may be, yeah, this might actually work. Thinking this may be too big, but yeah. Yeah. Now see, I can either tie it like this so that it hangs, which I think is what I'm going to do. You can tie it like this one, which actually I think is backwards on my tag. I think this one though, because it's so thick, I'm just going to tie it like it was actually meant to be tied on the bag. And now you can also, I dye sometimes my rope, my string, to match the tag so that it's more cohesive. Oh, that's really thick. There we go. Oops. Okay, rethink that size. Yeah, I like that size better. Oh, right there. Okay, I'll clip that off. Yeah, see this one is a little, like I said, I wanted it to be like it ripped off of whatever it was tied to. I guess this one could have been ripped off as well, but made more sense. Okay, so I'm just going to clip these off and grab me some scissors. I think that might be a little bit long. Okay, put that back in my jar. Put my jar away. I did not close up my drawer because I forget to put that away. Okay, stop. Okay, now I did have some tags sitting here that I had originally thought might look good once they got vintaged up, distressed a little bit. too. And actually I ended up getting 2 of those colors, actually 3 of those colors, correct. See a bit of all 3 of these colors in this tag. So I may use these and just kind of layer them out. Oh, that would look really good right there. Okay, so I may put that there. This and this, I don't think that one matches. This one might be good too. But I did say that I wanted red here. Yeah, I want to put a red tag there. But I definitely want to keep this number. This actually came from dry cleaners. So save all your little pieces. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of how you make these. So, and then we'll come back and I'll show you some more examples after I've created them. And you just follow this little thing here. Like I said, down here is some types of tags that you can use and reference and search for. And then here's some items to use for the distressing. You can use the hammer, scissors, your fingernail, the Tim Holtz Tiny Distressor, texture crackle paste. I did not add that, but you could easily add the crackle paste over top. You can add it to the edges just to get the edges that little crust, look and feel, because you would be able to feel the texture paste. So you'd be able to feel that. I may do that on some of my example pieces to show you. Okay, so, and now I will show you some more. Okay, these are the finished tags that I've created that are like workroom tags and receipt tags and baggage claim tags and stuff like that. So they look pretty good. This was the first one that I did. Let me show you the back. This one is now sewed. I showed this earlier. It is now sewed across here. So you can see here's the back where you can write on it. Haven't removed the strings yet. I did tone down the orange. It was too bright for me and stood out a little bit too much, so I toned it down just a hair with a little bit of gray. Okay. And each one does have a different topper on them, and each one has a slightly different shape to them. I was trying to show you a variety of different ways of the finished product and how it can all look totally different. Even if you just mix and match these tags and these techniques, they'll still all end up being very different to each other. This one's very moldy looking, and I did match the red here to this C so that it all stood together. Okay, this one has just a little bow with a paper clip at the top. It's removable, and it has sewing. And then this is hand stitched. The red is hand stitched on. I just wanted to give something extra. Back here is a little gesso rings. This is actually like a tuck spot. I've left it so that you can see, you can always tuck something in there. That'd be great in my journal. And then this is actually glued to this piece so that whenever you flip it, it stays on there. This piece is like a package that, if you were at a factory or something and they clamp together all of your information, or whenever you go someplace and they put all your receipts in one spot. So that's what this is just a pile of receipts. And maybe a little letter here. And then here's the tag, and just spin it. You can see the tag here. It was really grunged out. It almost looks like the tag got burned up or something, or was in a fire maybe. I really went a little overboard on the darkness of it. And then spin it back around and show you the back. And you can still write right here. Probably in a black pen would look best. And you can always take this out and then remove these if you didn't like it, or even just use a different one. This is actually, I actually punched that so that it's all grunged up too. And then this one is my husband's favorite. He thought it looked the most authentic out of all of them, but actually at first glance it looks like maybe I just did some stamping. But if you notice here that you can actually see the stain, and it looks like it maybe got some coffee stain or tea stain or something, or some kind of darker liquid, maybe even oil. It looks kind of oily splatters. So this was the same technique as all of them. It's just I didn't use different colors. I used the same tone on tone, and that created more of a neutral palette. And of course you can write on the back. So you can see by this color what color that is versus how dark this one actually ended up. Okay, so hopefully you'll get some inspiration from this and you can create and show me your results. I'd love to see what you guys come up with this. Okay, and that's it for today. Thank you for joining me and coming by my studio today, and I hope you have a blessed day.